This is Paul and Sean from the band CYNIC, and you're watching
Horns Up Rocks.
For Horns Up Rocks, this is Joe Swift, and we're here in the streets of New York City. I'm here with Sean from CYNIC. Welcome to the city that never stops rocking.
We love it. We love New York City.
You're just commenting how the weather's treating you well. And hey, that is because you guys are in town at Idle Hands tonight, special acoustic performance. A lot of things happening for you guys right now.
Yeah, motion again after almost kind of a year of kind of being absent from the public, at least. Yeah, you know, new EP coming out next week, and new U.S. tour, and could do a Europe tour in December. 2 new band members, you know. So a lot of motion going on in the CYNIC camp, sure.
So we can kind of say that that 1 year, quote unquote, off was to refresh yourself and to kind of come up with new ideas, and of course, as you said, the new EP.
Sure, sure. I mean, ultimately, that's what it turned into. We didn't plan to be absent for that long, but you know, as life happens, you know, change is the inevitable, and we went through a lot of change. And the EP reflects that, obviously, because I think, you know, in true CYNIC fashion, again, we've shown a different side of where we're coming from musically, and where our you know, inspiration is coming from.
And what do you think, if you have to pinpoint a few differences from, of course, you just said it, the 2 new band members, which obviously bring a new taste to the band, but apart from that, from your previous releases, what do you think is setting apart this time?
Setting apart in the sound?
Sonically, maybe production style was a little different. What do you think was different?
Well, I mean, again, just like, you know, all the steps we've taken before, I think it's just the evolution, the maturity, you know, have done that, have gone there, let's go here, let's do this. Ears getting better, production skills getting better, songwriting getting better. And again, just dealing with the randomness that, you know, your life throws you. You know, as much as you can try to synthesize or create these ideas, I think, you know, your environment has a lot to do with what comes through your body. And so, you know, we could set out to do one thing, but what ends up coming out is what ends up coming out. And that's what sets it apart, you know, those experiences and those, you know, those growths, you know, the maturity.
Right, and having 2 new guys in the band added to the equation, because sometimes you can see it as a negative thing. It's like, oh, we love this band member, we lost that person. But when you add somebody new to the equation, then all of a sudden, I'm sure when you get on stage now with different I mean, it's not the ideal thing, but I think it's, for you guys, it's like a challenge, which is, you know, if you take it the right way, it can be really cool. Sure.
I mean, you know, like in any long-term relationships, you have histrionics, you have your, you know, the patterns, and you know more than just what's on the surface. And, you know, I think it's always nice to have fresh blood and new perspectives and new challenges. You know, how you play with one person, you're going to play completely different with the other person, even if they're playing the same thing. So, I mean, I think even for us, it's refreshing to have that newness, because we've been playing some of these songs for a long time. And, you know, even though it's the same song, it's different with those different people and those different energies, you know.
And then the songwriting changed a lot because of having the 2 new members in the band, or is it just pretty much the same process?
The 2 new guys are actually post-EP. You know, we've kind of known for about 3 or 4 months that Max was the guy, but the bass position was basically open until about, I mean, honestly, 7 or 8 weeks ago. So these guys had nothing to do with the writing and the recording of the record. That was basically just Paul and I, you know, going into that mode, and in about 6 weeks from conception to delivering artwork and masters, it was, you know, it was done. So it was a real, funny enough, after that long stretch of kind of nothing, it was very compressed.
We found here. What's up, man? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we're talking obviously about your new EP, your new band members. By the way, I'm Joe from Horns Up Rocks. Introduce yourself to the people out there.
Hi,
Yeah, you gotta kind of tell them who you are.
my name is Paul. I'm a human being living on planet Earth.
We have a new EP coming out next week. What are your expectations for this new release?
I try to have no expectations. That's how I approach reality, is just to just let it happen. And so I'm not disappointed, and I don't know, because it's hard to expect anything. You have no idea what's going to happen. So just show up and surrender as much as possible and let things unfold. So we'll see. Who knows?
I think that equates to your musical style because you've always done something very different than what's out there. You've never been like, all right, let's go for this or go for that, kind of just let it flow.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much about serving some, at the root, potentially selfish, creative process, and at the same time, absolutely impersonal and having nothing to do with ourselves, because we're just kind of surrendering to being artists that are engaged in just doing art for art's sake, really. It's not result oriented. I think that's probably been one of the things that's worked against us, is that we've never been business minded as much as just art minded, you know. So it's okay, you know, it's been a great ride. We're still on it, you know, and here we are.
Yeah, so we were saying before, we're here at Idle Hands Bar. Right, that's our Idle Hands Bar, where you guys are about to do an acoustic performance, something a little different for you guys.
Yeah, it's good to show the other side of the roots of these songs, you know, because they start out like this. So it's kind of like, it's fun. It's fun to strip it down and still show that there's actually a tune there, you know.
So you just said you kind of touching upon how you write your music. So why don't you take into, you know, all the fans of your band or future fans of the band into, you know, how the creation of any song for you guys works?
I'm not sure I understand it myself, you know. It just happens, you know. You just show up and shit happens and you just let it happen, you know. I mean, obviously you can explain technical aspects of the process, but it really is a very curious, weird thing to take sound molecules and arrange them into some architectural shape that you can only hear. You know, it's pretty weird, you know.
It's different every time.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're getting into.
There's the hours upon hours of flipping things inside out and turning them upside down and trying all the different things. But it is curious how one's own filter, then you mesh it with someone else's filter and you get this certain sound. And when you both agree and you both are in the same place, it's really you. It's not about that discipline and all that technical stuff. It's about that, you know, that creative juice, that kind of letting go and trusting, just trusting at that point, you know. And this EP was kind of like that. We were very impulsive with it. It happened very quickly. We were very first mind, first decision, go with it, trust it, and yeah, kind of. That was a lot of our process in this way.
Right, and it's from years of work of you guys trusting each other musically, so it's not kind of, we're going to try this just for trying, but you kind of have maybe an idea where you're going with it.
Yeah, it's all about trust, isn't it? You know, the greatest therapists I've ever had were the ones I trusted the most, and really it boils down to your relationship with your therapist. You know, it's like, do you trust them? Because trust them enough to see through your own manipulative behavior, your own, you know, because otherwise you're going to try and manipulate them. So you really just kind of like let your guard down enough to just be vulnerable. And that's really what music is about for us. It's about just letting it all kind of fall apart, you know, and not having to put it back together. And that's Sean and I's relationship. It's very exposed and brutally honest, and there's a lot of juice there.
Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's the love-hate thing. It's the, you know, we can be swimming together in the same idea, and then we can be absolutely polar opposites. And I've known Paul for, I think, 26 years, and known him in a constant, I mean, we met based on playing music. I mean, since the time we were 12, it was me bringing my drums over to his house. So we've had this friendship and at the same time a working relationship. So we've learned over the years how to switch hats and go, okay, no, this is personal. Oh no, this is you have to have a business hat, and then you have to have a creative hat. And so we, you know, it's
They're a good slug once in a while.
just
Watch this one.
here, go.
We'll add the sound effect afterwards. Guys, I want to thank you. I want to wish you the best of luck, not only with the new EP, but you guys are on tour right now. You said before, you're going to Europe next, and of course, you're doing the Metal Sock Fest this weekend. And everybody who's watching out there, you better show up because these guys are not going to disappoint. And best of luck with everything. And thank you.